everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Aisha. Thank you for being here. So today's video is going to be my mid-year freakout book tag, and I am just going to run through some of the books that I've enjoyed so far, some of the books that have made me cry, just all of the stuff. So I've never done this before, so bear with me if my thoughts are not very coordinated. So far I've read 31 books out of the 52 that I planned to read this year, so that's really good. I had a very good start to the year, so January, February, March were really good. April, May were not so good because I had a lot of stuff going on, and so June was also really good. So I would say that we are on track to completing the year. So the first question from the mid-year freakout tag is the best book you've read so far this year. Now, this is always a problem for me. Like, asking me to pick one best book that I've read in a year is difficult. I don't know. I don't even know how I'm going to end up marrying just one man. I don't know why I said that. Anyway, I would say that the book that blew my mind the most, even though there are a lot of books that I've really enjoyed so far this year, I would say the book that blew my mind the most was The Mountain Sink by, I cannot pronounce this woman's name. I really cannot pronounce her name. I would find a video of her pronouncing her name so that I know how to pronounce her name, because she has a new book coming out next year, which is called Just Child. But I would say this book is probably my favorite book of the year. The Mountain Sink by this woman. It was perfect. It was just okay. I loved it. It was the right amount of joy, sadness, crying, happiness, the right length. I learned the right amount of history from it as well. It was just perfect. I really enjoyed that book. So that's my first answer to that question. So the next question is the best sequel you've read this year. I have not read a lot of sequels. I don't think I generally read a lot of sequels, but I started reading the Front Desk series by Kelly Young. The first book in the series was Front Desk. The first book in the series is Front Desk, and I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. I'm reading the sequel now, which is called Three Keys, I believe, and I'm also enjoying it as well. So I would just say the best sequel that I've read this year is Three Keys, even though I haven't finished it, but it's headed in the same direction as Front Desk. I really want to read other books that are in a series this year, and one of them is the Binti series. So I read the first book in the series years ago. This was like 2017 or something, and I want to revisit it and then complete the whole series. Another book that I also want to read that has a sequel is The Empress of Salt and Fortune by, I cannot pronounce this person's name. The name of the sequel is When the Tiger Came Down the Mountain. So I would really like to read that as well. The third question is new releases you haven't read but want to. So I don't follow new releases just because too many books, too little time. I don't follow new releases. But a couple of books that I want to read that came under my radar this year. I'm not sure if they were exactly published this year, but it came on my radar this year, So some of the books from the International Booker Prize Award. So for example, Paradise, Elena Knows. I also want to read After the Sun and Evan. I haven't read anything by Meiko Kawakami. I want to read Evan as well. One book though that came out this year that I really want to read is Seeking Fortune Elsewhere. It's a collection of short stories. I know I like short stories, so obviously it's gonna enter this. So I really want to read this. It's by Cynthia Barno. Another book that I really want to read that is definitely new releases, My Mechanical Romance. I haven't read a teenage romance in a while, so I really want to read that as well. One other book that came out this year that I've mentioned I really want to read is Peter Orange Tree by Joa Halahati. I really want to read this book, and I said I was going to read it in May, but I think I've mentioned enough new releases to be able to pass on this question. The next question is most anticipated release for second half of the year. I don't know. I have no idea what book is coming out in the second half of the year. I literally have no idea. So I don't know. I guess if they're interesting books, that'll come out, I will see them, I guess. The next question is your biggest disappointment of the year. There are a couple of books that did not meet my expectations. So far, so good. And I would say that my biggest of this year is You Truly Assumed by Leila Sabrin. I had high expectations for this book and it disappointed me. Even though it was not like a terrible book, it was just very disappointing. That book had too much potential. The plot had so much potential. It wasn't reached, in my honest opinion. So I would say that is my biggest disappointment of the year. There are a few other disappointments, but I'm going to save that for a later video. The next question is your biggest surprise of the year. This is so easy. This is literally so easy. My biggest surprise of the year is Cost Bunny by Bora Chung. I knew like I was going to like this book because it was a short story collection. It's rarely, if ever, that I don't like a short story collection. Rarely, if ever. But I did not expect to like it as much as I did. Especially because of the nature of the stories. These are not the type of stories I would generally go for. But I really enjoyed this book. I really enjoyed this collection. I gave you 5 stars. Like, loved it. Would recommend it. If you've not read Cosbunny by Bora Chung, read it. If you've read it and you don't enjoy it, I'm sorry. So the next question is a new favorite author. A new favorite author. Whew, this is going to be difficult. I am going to mention Farida Abike Iyumide. So Farida is a new favorite author, not the only new favorite author I have this year, just a new favorite author. And that's because I read Ace of Spades early this year and I really enjoyed it. And there's a new book coming out. I can't remember the name, but there's a new book coming out and I'm looking forward to that book. So yeah, this is a new favorite author. My newest fictional crush. Okay, I know the answer to this question. So my newest fictional crush is Unclaw from The Old Woman with the Knife. This character blew my mind. Like, she's an old woman and the way I have a massive crush on her. Like, massive. Like, I want to be you when I grow up kind of crush. I love her. Yeah, so if you've not read The Old Woman with the Knife, it's basically an English translation of a Korean novel, and it's about an old woman who is like coming to terms with being old and having to retire from being an assassin. So this novel is just a kind of character plot kind of mixed book. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. This is going to be difficult though. Okay, so my fictional crush is still Unclaw from The Old Woman with the Knife, but my newest favorite character is Mina from Men Don't Cry. See, for Men Don't Cry, this is probably my favorite thing about this book. This character, Mina. I relate a lot to her. And if you joined the book club discussion for the Indulgent Bibliophile, I'm going to link the discussion in this video. You would know that I could not stop talking about this Mina. So Mina is the second daughter of this family in Men Don't Cry, and she's this daughter that you would assume is like a goody two shoes, or what do they call that thing? Like, she's a good girl by everybody's standards. She doesn't fight with her parents, values aligns with the values of her parents, and I can relate to that because people might think that she's just trying to please her parents, but it also happens that her values just aligns with the values that her parents want her to have. And even though Mina didn't really feature in this book as much as I wanted her to, she was just like in a few places. I feel like if we had gotten to know her, I would have loved that even more. So yeah, my newest favorite character is Mina from Men Don't Cry. The next question is books that made you cry. This one is easy. This one is very easy. One book that made me cry, and if you've not seen my video of me ranking some of the books I read in March, you need to watch that video because many of those books made me cry. So a book that made me cry, number 1, is The Mountain Sing. Again, this book made me I was tearing. I was crying. This book made me cry a lot. Another book that made me cry is The Stone House by Yara Awari. Yeah, this book made me cry. Another book that made me cry is The Accusation, Forbidden Stories from Inside North Korea. Bro, I was crying in this book. This is why I say you need to watch my video from ranking the books I read in March, because most of these books I read them in March and they just made me cry. Another book that made me cry is Watermelon Boys. Oh, this one was so sad. Yeah, this book was sad. Oh, another book that teared me up a bit is My Pen is the Wing of a Bird, new fiction by Afghan women. All these books that I mentioned, some of them I was shedding tears. Some of them was just like a little bit of tears here and there. It was just small tears. A book that made you happy. A book that made you happy. Oh, a book that made me happy. This one is so simple. Love in Color, Mythical Tales from Around the World, retold by Bolu Babalola. This book made me so happy. It was so warm. I enjoyed the book. I enjoyed this book so much. Yeah, this book, easy. If you've not seen me ranting about this book in my February wrap-up, go and watch it. I'll link it. You need to watch me swooning. But yeah, this book made me really happy. The next question is the most beautiful book you got this year. So this is why, see, I have a problem with selecting things. I cannot narrow it down to one, so I'm just going to show you three. So I received this book called Poor Little Sick Girls by Ayon Gambo. Look at the cover of this book. Like, look at the art. This is one of the most beautiful books that I received this year. So the next beautiful book that I received this year is Memphis by Tara M. Stringfellow. I haven't read any of these books, by the way. Inshallah, I'm going to try to read them this year. Inshallah. Look at this book. Look at the cover. Just see it now. See it. Look at it. Just say check them. And last but definitely not the least is Beast of a Little Land by Julia Kim. I mean, check it out. Look at it. Okay, so the next question is books you want to read by the end of the year. This is a lot though. This is a lot. There are so many books I want to read by the end of the year. Some of them are from this year, some of them are from last year, some of them are from 2020 that I haven't read. So it's gonna be a lot. One book I really want to read this year is The First Woman by Jennifer Makumbi. The First Woman. Also really want to read Silver Sparrow by Tayari Jones. Really need to read that book. I also want to finally read my copy of The Book of Memory by Petina Agapa. Need to read all of the three books I mentioned earlier. So Memphis, Beast of a Little Land, and Poor Little Sick Girls. Also need to read my copy of Buttermilk Pig Bread. Finally, I have a copy of this book, which is mentioned this earlier. I need to read this. I have a lot of books that I need to read this year, so yeah, let's just leave it at that. The next question is favorite book to movie adaptation. This one is difficult though. I don't know any book to movie adaptation that I like this year. There has been a couple that they've done. Why can't I think of any? And that brings us to the end of this very short and chaotic video. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know some of the books that you've read, some of the books that you want to read, and some of the answers to this question. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.